Hello guys, and we are here today with another very awesome video. We are here with some magicians. Yes, some magicians. This is pure magicians. And honestly, my opinion of this deck overall is, if you can build this deck, why aren't you just running PePe? Like, well, not really PePe, but PMag is what I called it, Performage and Magicians. Because this, you won't run this card, so you don't really need to pay for this card. And if you can get this card, like, PePe is really cheap besides this card. The performance monsters are not really expensive, they're commons and rares, so the only reason to be playing this deck is because, well, you really want to, because either you're not playing with this card, and you're not playing with this card, because I think this card's a $20 card, and this is definitely a $40 card, so either you're not playing with these and you're going really budget, or PePe just always helps. I feel like the performance, they always help, they make the deck a little bit better. But if you want to play a pure version, or you just can't get your hands on it, and you can get 3 of the structure deck, then this is something you could turn the deck into if you wanted to play this way. These are just going to go over the combos, and this is going to be like an alternate deck that may be able to withstand PePe. It's still Pendulum, but it may not be, but it isn't PePe. And so let's just go in. We're running 3 Dragon Pit, 3 Dragon Pulse. Definitely they are there for the scales, pop monsters, pop aggro, the whatnot, and then 2 Mist Valley Apex Avian. You really want to see him, because he's really interesting. Just being able to be that, once per turn I get a negated card, he returns to my hand when he does, and then next turn I can summon him out. Do a pendulum summon, so there's no downside. If you can't pendulum summon him, you don't have the right scales or whatever, you can always normal summon him. Pendulum monsters return to the extra deck, so it's not that difficult. 3 Odd Eyes, definitely great for searching and great for our combo plays with making the Synchros, the Xyz, and of course the Vortex Dragon. Olaf Dragon, he's definitely very useful. I'd rather use him as a monster, so that way I can return Noble Dragon. But he's definitely good as a scale, because if you open up with him and then any other Pendulum, and then him and Inside Magician, and then you have this card that's really good, because you can activate him, activate Inside, destroy Inside to grab any other Pendulum, and then use his effect to add back Inside, destroy the 2 scales you do have out, add another Inside, and then use both Insides to get these guys and go for a Pendulum Summon. So he's definitely useful as a scale and useful as a monster. You want to only 2 Luster Pendulum, make the deck a little bit cheaper, and it is still very viable, because we only run 1 Ignister, so it's not going to really do much. And we don't run the Xe, although we probably should. And then Skullcrobat Joker, 3 of him, search out your Inside Magician, search out any of your Magician cards that you need. And I keep on calling this Inside. It's Wisdom Eye, my friend, it's Wisdom Eye. That Inside Magician is the OCG name, if you did not know that. Destroy him if you control another Magician, and you can place another Magician in your Pendulum Zone. Really, really good. Just being able to fill up your extra deck full of Pendulum monsters, and then go for a Pendulum Summon. A Noble Dragon, if you control a level 7 or higher Odd Eyes, you can reduce its level by 3 to summon from your hand or graveyard. So, because you can summon this card from your graveyard, you want to ditch it for these guys to use their effect to either pop a spell or pop a monster. And then you can then go for a Synchro Summon and the whatnot. If you had a level 5, you could also make Ignister. And then Instant Fusion, just in here because, well, we're running a level 3 tuner that we like to put in the graveyard. And we detach XYZ material, so rank 4s and just helping out in general. Regeki, 2 Odd Eyes Fusion, really great cards. It's not the most important card, but being able to make Vortex is definitely very helpful. 3 Pendulum Call, discard a monster, discard a card, and then search for 2 Magicians, and they cannot be destroyed this turn or your opponent's turn. And so that's very, very useful. Search out Pulse, search out Dragon Pit, and then just go for a play. Really good. Upstarts for consistency, Wavering Eyes to do a whole bunch of stupid combos and hurt your opponent. And then 2 Sky Iris, destroy a card, and you can add an Odd Eyes card such as Odd Eyes Fusion or Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon to your hand. So that's definitely very useful, and Magician cards cannot be targeted in your Pendulum Zone, but that doesn't really happen because most of the time they're going to be destroyed with Wavering Ice. And then of course for some traps, running Warning and 2 Scoldings. Those are some techs, because I was like, I realized I wasn't running a lot of back row, so I was like, I'm just going to put in Scolding, like there's no downside. Of course I'm going to take this out and put in what's it called? No, Notice. Yes, Notice. How did I forget that card? But for now, it's very useful. People don't expect it. Being able to negate a monster effect, a spell, a trap, or a summon. Really, really good. So definitely helps out. And this is another Apex Avian. Just having him and then a a scolding face down is just kind of stupid, in all honesty. And so, yeah, this is the main deck. For the most part, there is some change you can make. If you really want to make this a cheaper build, you can take out the Lust of Pendulums. He is a $40 card. I thought he would go down when the special editions for Core came out, but he hasn't really gone down too much. Hopefully he gets announced for some reprint in the future, please. Oh well, I'm gonna end up buying 2 of him anyways soon. Hopefully they come in. I tried to buy 3 of this card when it was $8 a piece. It didn't come in. I bought it off of Amazon. They said it got lost in the mail, but I suspect they didn't send it at all because they realized it was gonna go up. So I got a refund for that though, so I got the money back. But I bought 3 at $8 a piece, and now they're $24 a piece. Like, I could have made my money back so much because I only planned on running 2. So I bought the 3rd one just to trade. And then Rune Eyes, Pendulum Dragon. And you can just use Odd Eyes Fusion and summon him out. He can attack multiple times up to the level. No, it's depending on the level of the monster you use for him. Besides Odd Eyes, if he's level 5 higher, you can make 3. If it's 4 lower, you can make 2 attacks. And then Vortex Dragon is definitely very useful. Being able to once per turn negate a card effect by returning a Pendulum monster. This is the Pendulum monster you want to return. If you do not have this card, then you may want to return Insight. If you do not have that, then maybe one of these guys. Anyways, so you can shuffle one face-up Pendulum monster from your extra deck into the deck, and then negate the activation and destroy the card. Very, very useful. So we have a whole bunch of cards that can negate card effects. We have the Scoldings, we have the Apex Avians, and we have the Vortex Dragon. Elgar, as we said, he could probably take it out so we could run the Magister Paladin, Rising Draco Sail. Yeah, that guy. The XE, Draco Sail XE. Star Eater, very, oh no. That was an old ruling when this card first came out. If you use this to synchro summon up with Star Eater, this would not be shuffled into the deck. But I do believe the ruling has been changed, and if you do make Star Eater, she will be shuffled into the deck. She will be shuffled into the deck if you make anything that is not an Odd Eyes synchro monster. But Star Eater, definitely very useful. Just get out 2 level 4s and boom! And then, of course, Ignister, Destroy Pendulum, and yeah, shuffle a card. Anyways, Odd Eyes Meteor Burst Dragon, when he's synchro summoned, you can summon out a Pendulum monster from the Pendulum Zone, such as Dragon Pit, who's used at level 7, which is the same as Meteor Burst, who, boom, XE summons Clearing, Moonlit. If you wanted to, you could run Black Rose. But these are just really good cards that can like bounce or negate card effects. And Odd Eyes Rebellion Dragon, we cannot make them in this deck. We do not run the Creation Magician or the Exing Magician or whatever his face is. But you can use them for Odd Eyes Fusion, because if your opponent controls 2 or more monsters, you can also use up to 2 Odd Eyes monsters in your extra deck as fusion material. And to make Vortex Dragon, you need an Odd Eyes monster plus a Pendulum monster. He is a Pendulum monster. And then you can send either Meteor Burst or one of the 2 Absolute Dragons. Absolute Dragon is a Utopia, negate an attack, and if he does negate an attack, you can summon out an Odd Eyes monster from your graveyard. So very, very useful. And if he is sent to the graveyard, after being XZ summoned, you can special summon one Odd Eyes monster from your extra deck, such as Vortex Dragon, so that's very, very useful. And then for generic rank 7s, make a Phantom Beast, and number 11 with our Dark Rebellion XZ Dragon. So we have a whole bunch of different dragons here. We have the XZ, we have the Pendulum, we have the Clearing. We do not have the Fusion yet. We don't have the Fusion, and of course Castell. And that is it for the deck. So yeah. Tell me guys what you think of Magicians. Tell me what you guys think of this deck as a whole. Do you think this deck could actually stand up to PePe? I really don't think so. Because I feel PePe just has more moves, can make better XZs. This is so clogged with so many different things, while PePe is just straightforward. It knows what it wants to do. It knows that it wants to make Tsukiyomi first, and then make Amaterasu, then make Trapeze Magician, and then try to go for Ignister, and do all those combos, make Adele's Rose. PePe, I feel, is way more formulated. This deck, it really depends on what you get. If you get Avian, you're gonna go for try to do a stun negate type ordeal. If you get Odd Eyes Fusion, you're gonna try to make, well, Vortex Dragon. It just depends on what you get. Well, PePe is really just formulated and just it has a plan and knows what it wants to do right away. This deck definitely does not know what it wants to do right away. So if you guys enjoyed this deck profile, don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. See you guys later. Bye.